the amazing nature of how sports have changed, and this may have been one of those catalysts, 1984, that really kind of put it in that direction. We watched the French Open take place over the 2 weeks at Roland Garros, and to start it all off, we heard from Naomi Osaka explain to the world, which has got to be incredibly difficult to do it in a transparent and vulnerable way, as considered as one of the greatest tennis players in the world at this time, that she was dealing with some mental illness, some issues around anxiety and some depression, and she talked about how it was exacerbated by the post-match conversations with the media and things of that nature, and she was going to choose not to do that this year. And the immediate response from the organizers of the French Open was a public shaming, and the backup from peers as well as journalists, I think, helped calm the issue. But then again, John, we watched this weekend, and for some inexplicable reason, the organizers for the French Open, when it was all said and done, felt it necessary to get the last word in and kind of publicly shame her again in front of everybody about how they did everything right and how this wasn't necessarily as bad as what everybody was making it out to be.
You nailed it. I mean, the idea of going through what had happened these last few weeks, and you finally get the chance to say, we're sorry, we acted disproportionately, we're now realizing that this is really about a young woman who's in a bit of a damaged place right now and needs some time, and we made too much of this. You have that opportunity, and you use it instead to double down. It's welcome to tennis. I mean, it was pretty disappointing, and it was you wonder who's handling the crisis management there, because to go through with everybody in the sport went through and come out of it and have an open microphone to sort of say we're sorry, we overreacted, instead basically say, yeah, no regrets here. Pretty mind-boggling. But I think you framed it really well, which is like, can you imagine, never mind 1984, I mean, just imagine 20 years ago an athlete at the top of her game like that making a declaration saying, I'm dealing with anxiety and some mental health challenges. The fact that Naomi Osaka felt comfortable enough to be so public, I think is one of the few, if we're looking for silver lining here, the fact that she felt sufficiently comfortable and not stigmatized to be that forthright about what she's going through, I think maybe a little bit of a glimmer, but this was not a proud moment for tennis.
It wasn't, and it is for her. It is for, to your point, removing that stigma, and I've been searching for that for a long, long time. I grew up in a cowboy culture in Montana, and then in the locker rooms of the college football and the NFL, and I never saw another man step up and say, hey, I'm really struggling here. I need some help. Therefore, when it hit me and I was going through those things, I didn't have any guidance. I didn't know what to do. And what she was able to do in a moment in front of the whole world, she just gave millions and millions and millions of young girls who struggle with mental illness or things of any nature the confidence to come out and do it. And that's what should be applauded. And that's what I would have loved to seen from the French Open organizers about. We applaud her for taking such a strong stance about her medical and mental health. This is going to go a long ways in how we go about things and how we help people in the future.
I'm totally with you, and I would say she also provided some vocabulary.
Yep.
I think people have probably been struggling with what she's struggling with and just didn't know how to characterize it. I mean, I think one of the dirty secrets here is these press conferences. Yeah, it's about the media, and you get some quotes, and it helps publicize the tournament. But also, when like Belichick stands up in front of the Dunkin' Donuts placards, you look at the French Open, and they've got BNP Paribas, they've got a bank behind them. They've got sponsored water bottles. I think this is a lot about a tournament saying, wait a second, we sell these sessions. This is part of what we make money off of. This is like bonus DVD footage. We put these clips on social media and everyone can see our sponsors. I think people may have overlooked that the tournament has a real financial interest. This isn't about First Amendment and media rights as much as it's about protecting something that has value to the tournaments. But, again, I was surprised that all the tournaments reacted the way they did. I thought it was really out of proportion. I think if you knew Naomi Osaka, you knew she wasn't, this wasn't the entitled athlete who was trying to buy her way out of an obligation. This was a damaged individual. This is someone dealing with some issues who is sort of spiritually broken right now. I thought it was really clumsy the way they responded. But to then, 2 weeks after, to not douse the fire, but basically double down on what had been such a flawed approach, it was pretty stunning to read those quotes.